Welcome to Real Estate Secrets Unlocked, the podcast that takes you inside the minds of the industry's top professionals, revealing their top secrets to success. I'm your host, Danielle Damianov. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, get ready to learn the latest trends, strategies, and secrets that will help you succeed. Join us as we go beyond the basics and explore what it takes to make it in the world of real estate. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. This is Real Estate Secrets Unlocked. Hey everybody, it's Danielle Damianov with Real Estate Secrets Unlocked, and I am so excited today. I am here with Nicole Waters. She is CEO and executive coach at her own company, which is 525 Coaching. She has been in the business world for a very long time, automotive and banking leadership, and she is now an executive coach. So she coaches professionals on all things business, and I'm sure, their daily lives. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
And I want to say that I actually met Nicole back in, I want to say 2013, maybe. I had just moved to Miami and trying to kind of work my way around the real estate world there. And someone had mentioned that I talked to Nicole, who was working for Mercedes-Benz. So she really had nothing to do with real estate. But I can tell you that she was so instrumental in introducing me to a lot of different people in the Miami world. And I think it really is because you are a master networker. And so you know how to, bring people together and make people feel really special and always trying to connect people. You're one of those connectors. So I really appreciate you. And I would love to talk to you today about how you do it, why it's important with networking and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And it was such a pleasure to meet you. I cannot believe it was that many years ago. So much has happened since then, but it's all been a result of exactly what we're going to talk about today, which is connections and community and how we leverage that for continued success. So it is interesting how we met. However, I will share a quick story if you don't mind. So at Mercedes-Benz of Coral Gables, where I was the director of marketing, I was really the connection between the family who owned the dealership and the community. And they felt very strongly about marketing their product directly through building community, because we knew that our company, or our clients rather, were community leaders and business leaders. And we knew if we had a relationship with them, they would see the value in doing business with us. So I had a nice size marketing budget, but it was really earmarked for how do we show up in the community? How do we support those who support us? And we had a very close relationship with EWM at that time. And we were constantly sitting down with our partners there, who were many of our clients as well. And we said, how do we support you? How do we continue to show up for you? And so, as you know, EWM was well known for selling multi-million-dollar homes. And we had a luxury product as well. And so we decided to put that together. So when there were open houses, or showings rather, we would be sure to have a couple Mercedes-Benz parked in the driveway. We really wanted those buyers to see themselves living in this property, and very much the image that they wanted to reflect. And so I think slowly by that collaboration, we were brought together. And I think that's the perfect example of how working together in collaboration pays. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. And I'm actually happy that you really brought that up, because a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are real estate agents or in sales. And that is a strategic way that you can really set yourself apart as a real estate agent. If you're having that open house or that broker's open and connecting with a luxury car dealership and having, the basically having not only the product there, but being able to, share clients back and forth, right? If someone's buying a new house and maybe they're buying a new car as well, or they're moving from out of town and they're looking for somebody to take care of them as they purchase their vehicle. So I think that's so awesome that you mentioned that because that's a great strategic way that we really don't see a lot of agents out there doing that. And I can also say that Nicole invited me to so many different amazing events and really got me involved in the community, like the Miami Women's Fund and different things, to where, you learn all about what different charities and organizations are out there. And I'm still interested in, donating, going to events today from the ones that you've showed me. So I really appreciate that. One of the things that I want to bring up is that Nicole did all of this in Miami and then moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, which is where she's at now, and did it all over again. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about like networking and kind of like what your strategy is when you're moving to a different area? Because people move all the time and think, oh my gosh, I'm starting over again, right? So, what are some of the key things that you do to really get involved?
Absolutely. I would love to tell you about this story because it was not easy. I had 2 decades in Miami where I had built a wonderful career, wonderful network. And to make the decision to move across the street or move across the state was actually a really big shift because it was about starting over. The beautiful part was I was not starting over from square one. I was taking all that I learned about how to curate community and get involved in impactful, meaningful ways without spreading myself too thin, was learned and leveraged here in St. Pete. But I will be very honest with you, it started with our real estate agent. So we bought our home while transitioning from Miami to St. Pete. And we lived for about 4 months in Michigan. So we relied heavily on our real estate agent to help guide us not only on the purchase of our home, but also with some of the other suggestions, like how to connect with our community, where were our local service providers. And I want to make this point, Danielle, because um, it is such an important element of being a real estate agent and responsibility to be well resourced and to be able to be more than just a real estate agent. Because when people connect with you as a resource far beyond that transaction, that is the experience they're going to remember and reflect on the next time they want to buy or sell a house, or when they have a friend or family member who they want to refer a trusted contact with.
Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this podcast, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Real Estate Secrets Unlock, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode. And by the way, if you're a mortgage or real estate professional looking to level up your business, check out the Done by One CRM. It's at donebyone.ai. It has tons of tools that will help you automate your business, automate your systems, your lead generation, your lead follow up, social media, email marketing, and it will allow you to close deals faster. If you are ready to take your career to the next level, join my team. We are looking for real estate agents, mortgage professionals, and real estate agents that want to be mortgage professionals. We're all about support, growth, and crushing it together. The links are in the description. Check them out now and let's grow together.
So we did a lot of work directly with our real estate agent. And once we moved to town, we got involved with things that we were passionate about. So Preserve the Burg, which is a local non for profit that really is focused on preserving historic buildings and history of the city. We understand the importance of that. So we invested with them, the local Chamber of Commerce, the St. Pete Chamber, and also the St. Pete Shuffleboard Club, the oldest and largest shuffleboard club in the United States. And everyone's like, oh, you guys are perfectly aligned for retirement. But honestly, it is a really fun, socializing, kind of hipster place to go on a Friday night. And that's what we wanted to do is we wanted to find fun ways to connect with our community as well. And so we found things that were relevant to us where we knew we would find like-minded individuals. And that's where we started our relationship building with our community here in St. Pete.
And I think it's important, though, to point out because you create lasting long term relationships. And a lot of times, people, and I read this book once, and it was actually an amazing book. It's called Networking is Not Working because
Mhm.
some people look at networking, they go to the networking events, drink the wine, eat the food, talk to people, tell them all about themselves when the people really, could care less, instead of being strategic with networking. And networking is definitely a way to build your business, lead generation. Most people don't look at it that way. They go there just to kind of, mingle or whatever, thinking, okay, they know I'm a realtor, they know I'm a loan officer, they're going to send me deals whenever and it doesn't work like that. So, how do you create these lasting, relationships when you're out there networking and meeting with people and stuff like that?
I am naturally interested in learning about other people. I think other people are absolutely fascinating. And I value the fact that every single person has a unique story and a unique journey to what led them to that room and in that moment that day. And so for me, I'm looking for ways to um, connect on the most human level. So, what do I have in common with this person? Did we grow up in the Midwest together? Did we move to different major cities? What life experiences do we have that are in common? And so, I generally just like to get in conversation with individuals more than anything. Yes, it's important to know that they're a realtor or a banker or a doctor, whatever the case might be. But none of that really matters if I don't know the person behind it, right? Because that's where the trust is built. The trust is built when you find relatability to other people and likability. And nobody really cares about you in your profession until they know you care. And you show care by showing interest. And so for me, I just love to find those connections. And I'll share a story with you. Right before this podcast, I had the opportunity to connect with a local community leader. And this was one of the second or third times that we had talked, but really the first time we sat down and had coffee. And we started just sharing some stories with each other. And it was amazing how much we had in common, right? And we realized that we had passions for the same thing, arts in the community, right? And so we both talked about how we could bring our passion for art in the community to the work that we were doing as professionals, right? So she is a banker. I'm a community leader for a business district here in St. Pete. And we were thinking, how can we collaborate to make sure that our community has access to local art? Right? And so you just by those genuine conversations that go beyond your title or your position.
Absolutely, and I think that's the mistake a lot of people make is, when they're going to networking events or different things like that, they don't genuinely ask the other person about them, right? They just kind of make it about themselves, and I have this thing when I teach the real estate classes, MMFI, make me feel important, not me, but make the other person feel important, and the way you do that is by genuinely being interested in them, right? And what they enjoy doing and stuff like that. And that, like you said, that's where that rapport it comes in. That's where you build that trust. So
Absolutely.
you coach professionals, right? Do you have a specific type of person that you coach, a specific type of coaching program? And what are the biggest pitfalls or, issues that you're seeing people are having today in business?
Yeah, absolutely. So primarily I work with such as when you and I started working together, successful individuals, so business leaders or business owners who are successful already and even know where they want to go or what they need to do. They just need some support. They need accountability, a new perspective. They want to make sure that they're identifying any blind spots that they have in order to be strategic in what they're trying to achieve. Right. And so I call it draw. It's really discover, reflection, accountability, and win-win, right? So we talk about, what what are you trying to achieve? How are you currently approaching that, right? And then let's reflect on that. Is that working? What about that's working or not working? And then what actions and accountability can we start, stop, or continue to get you to where you need to be? And then, of course, I'm here to celebrate because who doesn't love to celebrate and just have a good time, right? But typically, the pitfalls that I see because I work with business leaders and business owners is that there's a lot of isolation at the top. And it's very vulnerable to be at the top, right? So, as a coach, I'm able to come in and help that person feel a little less alone, a little less isolated, and allow a vulnerable space that is intimate to them, where we can do the work that they need to do in order to get to where they need to go. And typically, I work with clients. We start with a 12-week or 4-month session. We meet at minimum every week. I will go every other week, but typically it's every week. And typically by the sixth or eighth session, there's great momentum. And I've had clients for years. So they'll work with me for 12 sessions, kind of get over that hump, achieve a keystone um, achievement. And then there'll be months or maybe a year or two where I won't hear from that client. And then they'll be in a similar situation and they'll re engage me. Um, but it's tough being a business leader, it's tough being a business owner. And a lot of that is just because it's so isolating.
Absolutely, it's so funny you say that because it's almost like and I can't remember the word, but like the reticulated whatever, where you hear something or see something and that it just keeps showing up again in your life. And at a lot of the events, or if I listen to Ed Milet, or some of the events that I've been at recently, has been of all around the fact of it is lonely, and when you're an entrepreneur or you're a real estate agent or you're self-employed, or a lot of times you question yourself, am I doing the right thing, And it is lonely at the top when everyone's going out and you're sitting home trying to like figure out how to, do something in your business, or um for me, I'm so focused on building my business right now that I don't want to go out. I want to stay home so I stay focused so I could, but then it's like, wait, where are my people? I need it because I love being around people, right? But it definitely is lonely at the top. And I'm hearing that all the time now whenever I like listen to anybody. And I think another thing when it comes to business is, and I said this and I don't think I said it to you, or maybe I did, but I'm like, I need a clarity coach. Like, I can help other people when they come to me with their problems, and I'm very good at saying, okay, let's sit down and go through this and help them make the decision. But when it comes to my own, issues or whatever, it's very difficult. It's all like mumbled in there. I'm like, wait, what, am I doing the right thing or staying on the right path or whatever? So you second guess yourself. So having that, accountability partner, having that person to bounce ideas off of, having that person to stop you from being a squirrel. Like, "No, wait, you said you were doing this, stop going over that way," which is what a lot of visionaries have, that issue, right? So you are kind of that integrator to that visionary to help them stay the course, which is what I love. So you do a lot of events, or do you do one event a year? Talk to me about events and, like, how you got started in that.
Absolutely. So, 525 Coaching hosts an annual women's empowerment event called Amplify Women Tampa Bay. And it was born out of the fact that I was a banker for many years. And as a banker, I was interacting with a lot of business owners. And as I was consulting with them, I would ask them, do you know about the SBA? Do you know about the Tampa Bay Women's Center? Do you know about our local greenhouse for entrepreneurs? And too often the answer was no. And these are free resources. Many of them were federally funded and available to us at all times. And so the Amplify Women Tampa Bay Summit is really unique in the fact that it gathers tremendous subject matter experts and resources and tools in one spot over 2 days. And participants actually leave these 2 days with tangible tools to move forward. So, for example, this year, on Saturday, August 9th, we have workshop. And as a participant, you can pick from 10. And one of them is a trademark attorney, right? So you'll be able to sit down for 1 hour in a small group of 10 with a trademark attorney who's going to talk to you about how to protect your intellectual property and how to start the trademarking process in the application. And if you're serious about doing that, you walk away with all the tools and the momentum to move forward. And so events for me are great. They're a lot of fun, but the events that I curate have to have purpose and they have to serve those who are making investment to be there. And so I'm very intentional in making sure that tangible tools are provided and that everyone has a great time and that they are in the room with other like-minded individuals who will collaborate with them and support them in each other's success. And I do want to touch on just one thing you said earlier, if you don't mind, about networking. Networking is awesome and a necessary element of building business. And so, Danielle, do go out there, get out into the world. Um, but the way you go to network, think about your avatar or who your ideal client is, and then look in the room and not for that ideal client, but for who else had that same ideal client, right? So for example, I have a friend who's a banker and she works with a lot of businesses. She has started to collaborate with a gentleman who offers payroll services, right? And so they go out together. And so because they have the same target client, right? So now they are adding value by saying, you probably need both of us. Both of us are here and we're a supported, trusted team. So it's just as important to go out there to find potential clients as it is to find potential collaborators who will help you through referral, so that when you're not in the room, they're your biggest advocate and you're able to share business with each other.
I mean, that's such a great point because, just like what we were talking about earlier with the real estate agent in Mercedes-Benz, right? Or EWM and Mercedes-Benz. EWM, for those that don't know, is the real estate office that I worked for in Miami. It is an amazing company. But as a real estate agent, who else, especially if you're selling high end, well, maybe a yacht broker, right? Go and collaborate with them. Who are the other services that these people that are purchasing a multi-million-dollar home, may need? So to your point before, it's getting your resource list, right, of who, when they buy that home, who else might they need? But also this gives you a great way to go out and collaborate and work with them. Me as a lender, I work with a title company. A lot of my business came from referrals through them to where they're like, "Oh, we'll do events together.
Yeah.
I'll sponsor an event or I'll hold an event and the title company will, help promote it and sponsor it also." So that's really a great point when it comes to networking is being out there, getting out there and finding, who your people are. And what I also think is important is finding the connectors and not you might connect with somebody on a great level. You might love them, but they might not have it in them to be a connector. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay. So for example, my dad is a connector. He thrives off of, "Hey, Smitty, do you know?" And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, you got to go to this person, to that person." But if you asked my mom, who is not a connector and is the sweetest lady ever, but she just doesn't think that way. So when you're trying to find strategic partners, you also want to make sure that you can have somebody that you absolutely love, you get along with great. But if they're not the connector, right, you need someone on that level with you to where they're like, "Oh, you got to talk with this one and that one." So, yeah.
Absolutely. And to your point, I mean, you need to be strategic with these connections and they need to align with what you're doing. They need to make sense, right? It's not about going to, and you and I both know this, it's not about going into a networking opportunity and just passing cards and hoping people will talk about you. It'll be like, no, I work with this person. or I'm in the same industry, or we work shoulder to shoulder together, and they trust you and they're going to talk about you, right? And so you really want those ambassadors who are not only going to connect you, but have worked with you, have an experience with you, and can be a trusted resource and referral.
Absolutely. Going back to your event, one of the things that I love about that is so many times we go to events. I always say I need like 2 days after an event to implement everything I learn, because what happens is we go to an event, we learn so much, we take a million notes, and then we go back home and those notes stay in the note, on the notepad, and we never implement, or we implement a small portion of what we want to implement, right? And so I love how you have workshops where you can sit down and start working on something, right? To be able to build. And I love that about that. So is it a 2-day event? How long is the event?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So it is a 2-day event. It's taking place August 8th and 9th here in St. Petersburg, Florida at the beautiful James Museum. And it's in downtown. So you've got quick access to our beautiful new pier and all of our great restaurants. And I'm very, very excited to be hosting it at the James Museum. And our keynote speaker is actually Laura Hines. And what's fun about her is she's currently the chairperson for the Pinellas County School Board. But prior to that, she was a naval officer turned project manager, who then helped with the construction of the James Museum. And they enjoyed working with her so much that then they asked her to stay on as the executive director for 5 years. And so she's demonstrated a lot of different opportunities in her career to pivot, to try new things, to have a voice and impact our community in a really meaningful way, including now in the sector of education. So, really exciting event. We're going to have some amazing speakers, great subject matter experts hosting those workshops. And it really is very collaborative. Since last year, we had to overcome 2 hurricanes, but we still made sure the event happened. And since then, we've had smaller groups of participants get together, do work together, collaborate, and just socialize and connect with each other. So it really isn't just about the event, it's about becoming part of an ecosystem that supports you for weeks, months, and years beyond that.
So, and I love that. Would you say that this event is more for people that are local? Or is it more anyone can come to the event, they're still gonna get value because the topics are actually something that they can use anywhere? Or is it more about resources locally to, the Tampa Bay area?
No, absolutely. This is a universal event. All of the subjects that we'll be touching on are just for business owners, business leaders. Everyone would be able to benefit from this. And we would love to have some individuals from outside of the Tampa Bay area join us and learn from this great experience.
And I will definitely put all of the information about the event in the show notes. It is in August, August 8th and 9th, I believe.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Friday and a Saturday, so you can make a whole weekend of it. And I didn't mention it, but because we care very deeply about collaborating locally and making sure that we're supporting our local businesses, we have a beautiful, very talented group here at Dubrick Magic Theater. It's a Las Vegas caliber magical group, and it's Chris and Ryan Zubrick. They have Zubrick Magic Theater, and our closing reception and celebration will be at their theater. So we'll have a 1 hour reception and then a 90-minute magic show to end the event. So we're very excited to make it not only educational, but a really fun event to come to as well.
So fun. I mean, I just have to say, you have done so much in your career since you moved to Dickey, I want to say in 2017, 2018. Okay. So it's a short period of time, and it's not like you knew anybody in St. Okay, so in a short period of time, you have curated this event. Like, you are so involved in the community. You are, a business leader in the community. It's amazing. I just want to congratulate you on that. And I think a lot of it is due to you going out, you knowing how to network, knowing how to meet people, And how would you say, or what would you say for anybody that, is new to an area, they're going out, they're meeting people. What is the best way to kind of keep it all together, right? Remembering this and that, or, is it a CRM? Is it, what's the best way to then continue to build upon that relationship? Because you could meet someone, have a great time, but you're busy. Life gets in the way. And then you don't make that effort again. Not that you don't want to, right? It's just,
Yeah.
so what would you
So
say on that?
I would say first be consistent. Like I said earlier, I was very intentional when I moved to St. Pete to find just 2 or 3 access points that were relevant to me, that were things I was passionate about. And then I've just been very consistent in making sure that I show up in those spaces. That as I was, gathering information and contact, that it was something that I could revisit weekly or monthly. But to your point too, CRMs are critically important. So my wife and I also own a company called Set Data, where we build information management systems because we understand the value of information and how important it is to not only collect it, but collect it in a way that's strategic and you can turn back around and reflect on it to be a tool and an asset, right? And so the first is be consistent. And then two, just make sure that you're managing the data in a way that can be continued to use as a tool as you continue to serve other people. Because honestly, all of this success is based on the fact that we are servant leaders. We're here not just to take, but to also serve and contribute back into our communities.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for being on. This was awesome. This was a great conversation about building lasting relationships through networking, knowing that you can literally pick up and move anywhere in the world and start over. And it's, a little hard at the beginning, but you can do a lot of things in a short period of time with consistency, with genuinely wanting to meet people and really caring about them. So I appreciate it. I am going to put your event in the show notes so everybody has access to that if they want to go spend a beautiful weekend in St. Petersburg, Florida. I will tell you, I used to live there. That's where I bought my very first home was in St. Pete at 23 years old. Not too far downtown, and it looks completely different now than it did back in 2003. So anyway, but yeah, thank you. I really appreciate this, and I know everybody got a ton of value.
This was such a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I wish everybody an amazing new year. Take care.
Well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Real Estate Secrets Unlocked. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite platform, and we would love your feedback. Check us out on social and let me know what topics you want more of. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and our show. I'm your host, Danielle Damianov, and until next time, stay motivated, stay excited, and keep growing in this crazy world of real estate. Thanks for listening to Real Estate Secrets Unlocked.